usually when we are dealing with words, any words is kind of is born of is the birth of culture of some cultures. If the culture change, that means sometimes the meaning change. For that, we keep all the time in our articles, scholar articles, and so on. We still talking about waqf, and some people they are using endowment, but usually they prefer to use it as waqf. The word waqf itself, it means is from Arabic words awqafa, awqafa, yuqifu, al-waqf. Al-waqf, literally, it means that means waqf is singular. If we want to, because sometimes waqf, sometimes awqaf. Awqaf is plural. Awqaf is plural. It means stop, or withhold, or detain, or confine. All these words in English, it refers to waqf. Literally, it refers to waqf. If in some countries, especially in North Africa, part of my country, Algeria, is North Africa. In North Africa, in West Africa too, they are using sometimes the word habs to refer to waqf. Habs, hubus, to refer to the waqf. Habs, hubus. And we have another third word they are using it in literally to refer to waqf is al-irsad. This irsad, many people they use this word as refer to waqf, but irsad is quite different from waqf. Is different from waqf. Okay, this is from the literature side. What is about the Islamic law? What is Islamic law explain, or what is Islamic law give definition to waqf? Islamic law used the word waqf, okay, to meaning of waqf is that means holding, preserving, from preserving, holding properties, and at the same time, the revenue of these properties can be used, or people they can benefit from the revenue of this waqf. In general, this is the general definition of waqf from Islamic law perspective. That means is holding property, can be building, can be whatever, can be schools, can be whatever, okay? Holding it, at the same time, what is doing? That means the revenue from this holding of waqf, that means people can benefit from it. For that, when we are going to discuss about the component of waqf, we can see who is the one who waqif, who mawquf alayh, as-sigha, wa al-waqf. This four component of al-waqf. Among our scholars, we got different opinions. It differs from madhab to another madhab. I'm not going to discuss it, but in general, we can say, all four madhabs are agree that waqf is contain the same idea. The idea I just now mentioned it. That the property that has been waqf must remain intact. No one can touch it. The same, and it's to be used to help others needy, فقراء, masakin, and so on. That means this is, if we try to make this slogan about Islamic law, the differences between scholars in the end, okay, some of them, they make more details, they give more conditions about waqf, and some of our scholars, they limit it to some, but in general, the four famous scholars, they are agree about this last definition. That means to take the property must be remain same, intact, at same time. That means people, they can benefit from this property, different kind of people. Legality of this waqf, we can derive the legality of this waqf from many verses of the Quran al-Karim, because usually waqf is related to sadaqah, is related to hadiyah, is related to ata. That means all this waqf is kind of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala في القرآن الكريم قال لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, another verses, he say, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم. And from Sunnah al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we have one famous hadith. I think everyone or all Muslims knows it. Hadith Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when a man dies, his acts come to an end, but three things still: requiring charity, knowledge, if you have knowledge still, by which people learn from you, and a pious son who make dua or pray for you. These three things still with you, even if you pass away. This is very important to motivate people about waqf. That means waqf is not what we can call it is you give sadaqah. If you give sadaqah, okay, you give it and is limited to this. But waqf is kind of, even you passed away, that means this waqf still contribute to your good deeds, even you passed away, even you are not in this life. This is the philosophy of waqf. To cover the history of waqf, it will take a long time. Starting from, is not from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it's from Adam alayhi salam, because some scholars, some jurists, they are arguing that Al-Kaaba itself, it was kind, Al-Kaaba Baytullah, it was kind of waqf. For that, if we are going to trace the first waqf in humanity, we are going to go until Adam alayhi as-salam. Zaman al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he did some awqaf. One of the awqaf is Masjid Quba, Masjid al-Madinah al-Munawwarah, and also Zaman al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of the Sahaba, Mukhayriq, okay, he gave the gift to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Is about, they say about, I think 5 or 7 charity lands to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, even Zaman al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Umar ibn Khattab, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Uthman ibn Affan, all of the Sahaba, they gave the example of waqf. Because if we talk about Bi'r Rumiya is Uthman ibn Affan. If we talk lands of Khaybar is Umar ibn al-Khattab. If we talk about land of Ma'una, we are talking about Ali ibn Abi Talib. That means all Sahaba who they have the capacity or they have that means the money to make waqf, they make waqf. This shows us that waqf it was kind of good deeds that Sahaba they were motivated by Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to do it. In history, we got a lot of awqaf zaman al-Khilafa al-Abbasiyya. Harun al-Rashid, his wife Zubaydah, she got one big waqf at that time. If we talk about Zaman Andalusia, also we got a lot of Awqaf, Zaman Andalusia, and in the list, that means the time of Ottoman Empire, that means we got also a lot of Awqaf. We can say, okay, around 74% of Muslim lands at that time of Ottoman Empire, it was waqf lands. It was waqf land until the new area, that's in 19th century, 20th centuries, we got a lot of awqaf. In 19, we got the railway of Hijaz. That means take people railway from Palestine until Mecca at that time. It was railway across these 5 countries at the same time. It was railway built from awqaf financing. At that time, also we have a lot of hospitals built in different countries, in Pakistan, in Dubai, I think even in Indonesia, in Malaysia. They are based on awqaf. Only to make it clear, that means the awqaf, starting of the awqaf, and what is happening now in the awqaf is quite, we can see the difference. Okay, difference of ages and difference of legal law who they are regulating the awqaf. That means by time, many laws come to regulate an awqaf. And we are going to see this in our, when we are talking about the management. I think if we are going to classify, I think this is classified awqaf. We are going to classify awqaf to different kind of awqaf. It depends. Okay, this is I think is number. Okay, this is slide number 5. Slide number 5. Okay, if you are going to classify awqaf, we can classify awqaf in different ways. We have what we call it. Or we can divide awqaf based on a term of beneficiaries into 4 categories. If we are talking to people who that are going to benefit from awqaf, we are talking about charitable waqf. We are talking about family waqf. We are talking about mixed waqf, and we are talking about specific waqf. These usually 4 types of waqf if we are talking about the people who they are going to benefit from awqaf. If we look at it from another point of view, if we are talking about awqaf as assets, okay, we are going to classify types of awqaf. We can say immovable waqf, movable waqf, shared waqf, cash waqf, and temporary waqf, no permitted waqf. And no permitted waqf is only, this is about between Madhab Shafi'i and Maliki accepted, and this kind of discussion about Sharia law. Okay, now as Muslim or as non-Muslim, what we are going to benefit from Waqf? It is really important to understand what kind of benefit we are going to get if we use Waqf properly, if we use Waqf properly as asset, especially in financing and investment different projects. Okay, we have a lot of projects, Muslim, but they have lack of financing. Waqf, it can be one of the main financing tools to this project. Also, that's mean Waqf, it can be, it can teach people to what we call it self-esteem. That means the people, that means they feel they are dealing with as one ummah. For that, they need to contribute to this ummah by Awqaf. Also, in some institutions, people that are trained to be leaders, especially leaders in field of Awqaf. Because people specialize in Awqaf, but it's not, we have a lack of people, especially Waqf is based on al-mutawalli. Al-mutawalli is the one who is going to, that means to manage al-waqf. Okay, later on we are going to discuss more about this, but we have different kind of people who they are going to wilaya for the waqf. Okay, also Awqaf can empower Muslim, poor and miskin and disadvantaged communities to help them to build their life. This is kind of slide number 7, I think, is about characteristic of Waqf. Okay, we have, I can say we have two characters linked to the Waqf. The first one is perpetuity. That means is perpetuate. That means is not limited to time. Waqf is not like others. Others is limited to time. But in general, Waqf don't have time. That means he will last forever. He will last forever. This perpetuity, it will implique, that means the property is still, if someone, for example, if someone make land as waqf or build masjid as waqf, this it will be for forever. That means no one can touch it, no one can, that means exchange the status of this land. Okay, it can be done, for example, renovations and so on. It can be done, but no one is going to transfer this property from its original deduction to another one. Okay, this is very important things. Also, we have the second point is the inviolability of the funders' stipulations. Okay, that's mean it will be, as I say, it will be forever. No one can change the objective of this waqf. That means for that we say we retain it as it was. You can make some changes on it, but it's not the changes on what the one who make the waqf, that means decide it to be. That means you cannot change to another waqf or to another institutions. Okay. Regarding slide number 7, we have waqf. We have 4 components of waqf. We have mawquf, endowment. we have underward, waqif, we have benefices, موقوفة عليه, and we have the legal statement. This is four component of a waqf. Four component of waqf. That means the preconditions by the waqif onwards, it must be followed. No one can change his statement. No one can change for what he locate this waqf. Okay. Okay. Now is about the most, I think, most important. I touched the previous topic. This is about waqf management, and I think this is the core of this presentation. It's slide number 7 is about waqf management. We have two kinds of waqf, or two types of waqf. We have waqf which or classical management of waqf, and we have the modern management of waqf. The classical types of waqf management. The first one, it was direct management of the waqf by government. That means the government in each country themselves, even the waqf is not government asset, they took the asset and they started manage this asset. This is based in previous experiences, because they got a lot of problems or with people who they are in management, in waqf management, because sometimes they derive from their first what we call it, their first duty. For that, the government in sometimes some countries, okay, they took control of Awqaf. This kind of Awqaf governed by governments. The second one is autonomy, administration. That means people, you get they group themselves and they make one NGO or one association or one company. It depends, can be corporation, company, and they make this one. They make this one as company to manage this waqf, whatever this waqf, land or properties or whatever. And the third one, we still also consider it as classical management of waqf. It was, that means some families, because their father, he was the one who make the waqf, they feel, that means generation after generation, they are the one eligible to manage this waqf. But in some cases, or in many cases, it depends on judge or judiciary system. That means under the judge, because they have got a lot of conflicts. For that, all the time they refer to judges, they refer to judiciary system to solve this kind of problem. Okay, now is about the modern management of Awqaf. Okay, the modern management of Awqaf, we have different models, and these models you can see from one country to another country. As you can see in the presentation, slides number 9. Okay, you can see the methods of waqf management. Okay, this they call it waqf share models. Is public waqf. Okay, we can find this waqf in Indonesia, Malaysia, UK, Sudan, and Kuwait. This is in short what is about waqf, public waqf or waqf shares model. We have another one is about Waqf Takaful model. This is based on takaful, especially like same contracts in takaful insurance. And this also is a kind of waqf based on takaful. Takaful is based in general in tabarru'. That means you give from yourself to help each others. You contribute to groups to help each others. We have the third model is direct model, public waqf, and this is kind also is applicable in Malaysia, Singapore, Bahrain, Emirates, Pakistan, India, US, South Africa, and Islamic Development Bank and OPEC countries. Model number 4 is about mobile model. We talked already about mobile model. This is kind of new or modern waqf. We have this fifth compulsory model, public waqf. Also, this is one. I'm going to only to, because I'm not going to focus on this, I'm going to focus the last one is cash waqf. And deposit product model. This is model of kind of waqf. Okay, and we have a new cash waqf model example. Okay. Regarding this one, cash waqf. Okay, regarding the cash waqf model, is quite, we got a lot of that's mean discussion from Sharia law perspective about this cash waqf. Is it permissible or is not permissible? Because in our history, we talk about land waqf, we talked about properties waqf, but that's mean cash waqf started time of Ottomanian emperor. That's mean at that time started with cash waqf. Anyway, regarding the cash waqf, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 models of cash waqf, and these models, they are the models used now in many countries about this. They are using this kind of models. The first one is waqf share, WSS. This is a public waqf practiced in countries such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Kuwait, and so on. This kind of waqf is about this kind of waqf is about. Okay, this kind of waqf cash model is about. I say is practiced in different countries. It's practiced in Malaysia, Indonesia, Kuwait, and UK. That means the main objective of this work is to collect money from public and to channel the funds for improving societal welfare. That means the main objective is to collect money and to use this money for social welfare. In general, this model, WSS, is as follows. Any specific constitutions appointed by the government may establish this institution and become the mutawalli, trustee. That means it can be by government, someone to be the trustee. Trustee in Arabic we say mutawalli. After that, the appointed trustee. After that, the appointed trustee will issue waqf shares in different value and sell the shares to donors for specific projects. The donors can buy the shares according to their affordability. The donors will receive cash Waqf certificate as evidence of purchasing the Waqf share of the specific amount for the specific or specified project. The amount collected from the sale of Waqf shares will be managed by the trustee in terms of investment of the fund. Okay, when we are talking about investment of the fund, okay, this we are going to it will be applicable with the all theory of investments. That means you need to make survey, you need to have feasibility studies, you need to check in ROI and all these matters before invest this one. For that, when we got some problems in Waqf, it's about this kind of lack of management. This is regarding Waqf. The first one is Waqf share. The second one is deposit cash Waqf. Deposit cash Waqf. Deposit cash Waqf, donors contribute directly to the Waqf institution by depositing money as cash Waqf to specific bank account. For example, Bank Muamalat or Bank Islam, they deposit money to the bank. Bank itself is responsible to invest the cash Waqf according to the agreement with the Waqf institutions. That means the bank receives the money, and later on, the bank, he will make an agreement with the institution who they are going to is going to be in charge of this Waqf. Institution Waqf will receive the revenue generated from the investment and will channel it to charities. Okay, that means people deposit into the bank. The bank, it will invest the money for the institutions, and later on, when they got the profit from this investment, okay, they are going to share it with the institutions, and the institution itself, it will channel this profit to the needies. Okay, this kind of Waqf got a lot of that means he bring a lot of goods and services to people. That means especially needy people in needy society. That means as you can see, is very simple one, and that means it will be more direct to go to the needies. For that, we can see that Singapore, I think from 1904, at that time, Singapore adopted this kind of cash share. The third one is compulsory cash Waqf, CCWS. This is public, also is public, which has been practicing only in Singapore. It's not in other countries. I didn't cross that other countries practice the same, but I can say that's mean in Singapore it was practiced. In this kind of Waqf, that means is regarding salaries. For example, it can be for example, in Malaysia, SUSCO or EPF. That means Muslim employee or even non-Muslims salaries are deducted through the Central Provident Fund, CPF, both Singapore. This is in Singapore. That means because you are salaries, okay, they deduct some amount from your salary. as contributions. Okay, it depends from $1 to $7. That means if we look at that means it's not a big amount. That means a small amount. But if we collect this small amount, later on it will be big amount. Okay, the amount dedicated from your salary are automatically check off system. That means the employers, they check on who employers, that means contribute to this or who didn't contribute to this chain of work. In the end, they give notice to Majlis Agama Islam, especially for Muslims, that's mean, as to collect the money which already CPF collected it from the salary of Muslim employees. This amount is to charitable amount for charitable purposes, building mosques, maintenance of the mosque, providing some services for the mosque, for educational programs, and building da'wah centers, and so on. The fourth one is corporate waqf. This is also public waqf practiced in Malaysia, Turkey, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Simply, this waqf is also the first. That means the founder can be private or can be public. It depends. This kind of waqf can be public. Okay, is practiced publicly in Malaysia, in Turkey, India, in Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And also it can be practiced by private companies. Okay, that means the main founder of this waqf ask some subsidiaries, NGOs or companies to contribute part of their profit to this institution or to this organization. After that, these institutions they play the role of trustee, and they are going to manage this waqf by investing this waqf in different kind of halal investments. The revenue also will be generated to the specific or the needy people. The fifth one is waqf production. This is kind of similar to DCWS waqf. That means the bank is the main actors in this kind of waqf. And we can see that this waqf, many countries practice it. That means Bangladesh, I think. Okay, Bangladesh. In this case, that means same. That means same what we discussed in. Maybe they have some steps. That means okay, the bank is going to act as trustee to collect and invest the waqf. But the capital used in investment only specific with mudaraba, what we call it, mudaraba contracts. That means it's specific. Others, the first one, DCWS, is not limited to mudaraba, and this kind of aqd is limited to the mudaraba. Is limited to mudaraba. Okay. I think in general, I think I reached the conclusion. I think I reached the conclusion. Okay, this is about cash waqf and so on. As conclusion, that means we try to make that mean the lecture tried to highlight that a large number of Waqf issues concerning Waqf itself. That means different or many Muslim countries, they are using Waqf as the third to help to finance projects. But at the same time, even they are using it with different models, and this kind of models, they are challenging models. They are changing models for that we can see in the last years or last 10 years, the curve of investing in Waqf become going down. This is because of kind of lack of trust, especially when some Waqfs they are used in some projects, and in the end, this project they didn't give. That means they didn't get profit, and the people who made the Awqaf, they feel disappointed about this kind of management. The current method usually used in Waqf is cash Waqf, with these 5 different types of Waqf in different countries. And they still debating some new, or they still suggesting some new models, but still the most important things to be highlighted, that means to keep the Waqf in its original path. That means we cannot move, or we cannot transfer Waqf to someone to another one. We cannot, the purpose of this Waqf, it can be changes to another purpose. Okay, managing the Waqf is very important. Managing the Waqf is very important. To invest in the Waqf is very important too. That means to make also, to keep legality of the Waqf, it's also very important. Because Waqf is about trust, is about trustee. If the people, they don't trust on your models, or if you are your project, they are not going to contribute to the Waqf. I think in general, I cover this 6 or 7 without going in details. That's all for me. If you have any questions, I am ready for it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Dr. Toufiq, for your presentation about Awqaf development and its management in contemporary issue. Dan teman-teman semua, sekarang saatnya Q&A session. Untuk itu saya persilakan kepada teman-teman untuk bisa mengajukan beberapa pertanyaan kepada beliau. Doctor, may the students deliver their questions in bahasa?
In bahasa Melayu, bahasa Malaysia, bahasa Malaysia.
Yeah.
No problem in bahasa Malaysia.
Okay. Silakan teman-teman.
But I think in Indonesian it should be quite different, is it?
Iya.
My student yesterday, they feel it.
Ayo teman-teman, silakan. Ada pertanyaan langsung, boleh? Silakan. Actually, they have a question in Google Classroom, but I would like I ask them to deliver the question directly to Dr. Toufiq. Come on, guys. Teman-teman silakan langsung tanyakan. Pakai bahasa nggak apa-apa. Yuk.
Tak apa, saya 4 bahasa tak ada masalah. 5 bahasa tak ada masalah. Bahasa Prancis juga.
Wah.
Ada orang cek bahasa Prancis.
Ya, Algeria. Bahasa Prancis.
Nah,
Ayo teman-teman. Boleh langsung tanya. Vira mau tanya? Langsung. Pertanyaan kalian tadi akan langsung ditanyakan saja. Nggak apa-apa.
Oke, saya deh Pak.
Oke, Hamdi, silakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. I just want. My name is Muhammad Zul Hamdi. You can call me Hamdi. I just wanna ask that how is an example of compulsory cash wakaf?
About compulsory cash wakaf?
Yes.
Yeah.
As I show you in the models, cash wakaf, that means the people contribute with the money. They give money. They give cash. For example, and this cash, okay, can be the bank in some cases. The bank, he will be the trustee. And on behalf of the bank as trustee is going to invest this money. But mawquf alayh, one who is going to receive it, this is kind of institutions. Let's say NGOs, let's say Jam'iyya, whatever. They are going to receive the profit from this investment. And these institutions, they are going to manage the money, the cash money given to them by people. That's mean what we have. I say in the work we have four components. Huh? 4 components, right? The first component, that's when the one who waqif give money. I deposit my money to the bank, cash. Okay. The bank play the role of trustee. He will receive the money, but it's not for himself. This money is belong to another institutions. And on behalf of these institutions, the bank is going to invest this money. After that one, the profit come out from this investment, and he give the money to institution, and the institution give to people as charitable cash waqf. This is the in general. I show you, I think model number 8 or 9 is show the cash model, the cash model. Even the last 5, I talked about the last 5. The last 5, they are a kind of cash model, of work. Is it clear?
Clear. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Oke. Silakan yang lain disampaikan lagi pertanyaannya. Karena kebetulan di classroom saya juga sedang susah dibuka ini. Silakan. Silakan teman-teman.
I think students in Indonesia, like in Malaysia, they don't want to ask.
But Dr. Anton said yesterday session there were many questions to Dr. Anton.
Yeah.
Oke, silakan teman-teman. Maul?
Kedengaran nggak Pak? Suaranya nggak ketek.
Apa-apa, masih terdengar kok.
Ya, Saya izin bertanya, Pak. Maaf, pakai bahasa Indonesia biar lebih jelas. Setahu saya, yang namanya diwakafkan itu kayak bangunan dan tanah gitu. Apakah ada jenis aset lain yang bisa kita wakafkan gitu, Pak?
Oke.
Bangunan. Terima kasih.
Oke, Dr. Taufik.
Okay, regarding the assets, I say can be properties, can be wakaf properties. And it's not limited to properties. That means sometimes services, goods, they can be wakaf too. And the last model, the new model is the cash model. Because the cash model, it was quite a big debating or controversy about the cash model between fuqaha, especially in the last decades. When we already accepted the cash model, it will be the most or the famous one is the cash model. But properties can be wakaf, including lands, houses, buildings. Also, that means, for example, if you want to support student scholarships, can be. That means if you have in some universities, they are using as this, what we call it, kursi. That means the chair. That means you can finance chair to someone to give talks to students. Can be from Waqf too. We have for some laboratories, that's mean in some research, even if we are talking last challenge, pandemic COVID-19 can be financed by Awqaf, different kind of Awqaf, especially when we are now talking about money Waqf or cash money Waqf. That means all this, it can be as well. For example, in the 8th or 9th centuries, in Andalusia, Zaman Andalusia, hospitals at that time, all hospitals at that time, they were financed by Awqaf. In, in 19th centuries, the railway between Palestine and Mecca, it was financed by Awqaf. That means Awqaf is not limited to mosque or to masjid, is not limited to properties. It can be in different kind of asset. What is considered as asset can be waqf.
Oke, maaf. Cukup, Maul?
Iya, Pak. Terima kasih.
Okay.
Is it clear? Huh?
Yeah. Okay, I think it's clear. Okay, Doctor, there is a question coming from Dimas in the chat box. Yeah.
In the chat
you
box,
may, yes, you may open the chat box in Bahasa. He asked that how if the investment that conducted by the bank as a matawali and they generate no profit. Yes. Is the waqf for?
Okay, this is I like this word hilang. Okay, because it happens many times. For that I say, when I was talking about history, I say that means the last decades the curve of waqf is going down. Is this kind of mismanagements? This kind of mismanagements, they led to people don't trust this kind of new models. What she say in her question, this is the reality. Many things happen in Awqaf, especially lastly. These things affect the growing of Awqaf through dunya, over the world. Because of this kind of, sometimes people they waqf money, and in the end they say your money no profit and your money is gone. And as I say in the beginning, in definition of waqf, the money, even if in the money waqf, okay, it can be, but it cannot be lost. It must be still. For example, if you deposit 1,000 ringgit, that means your 1,000 ringgit, it must be still 1,000 ringgit. No one can touch it. Otherwise, it's not waqf. If you say, for example, okay, that means, okay, we lost the money. We didn't get the profit. Okay, for that investment, using waqf financing is very, very important. Many people, they don't care about it, but this is very important issue because it's about trust. If people no more trust, that means no more Awqaf. And these institutions of Awqaf from Zaman al-Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam until now, still because of the trust. Sometimes in our history, when the people, they are not, or they don't feel comfortable with this kind, they will not contribute to the waqf. For that, in management, I say we have 3 methods of management. Some government, they say, okay, some institutions, even they are waqf institutions, but in the end, they look like other institutions. In the end, they have deficit and they have problem to how to finance project and so on. Even they are from waqf. Normally, some institution who they are based on waqf, that means they don't have lack of money, they don't have lack of properties, because the philosophy of waqf, that's mean they remain the properties and get the fruits from these properties. That means the fruits must be there. Kalau the fruits, if the fruits they are not, that means this is a big problem.
Oke, Dimas, clear ya? Oke, silakan yang lain. Kita masih punya waktu panjang sampai jam 3. Are you in the office, doctor?
Yes, I'm in the office, and you can say some stuff going to happen. because now we are working from office.
Oh,
No. I don't know how it is in Indonesia. Okay, we are teaching online, but as staff we are working from office.
office. Okay, we are now still working and learning from home.
No, our students they are learning
yes.
from home.
Yes.
Only for staff to go to the
Yeah, for the staff. Thank you. Okay. Silakan yang lain.
Saya mau nanya, Pak.
Oke, silakan Vira.
Oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Hello, sir. My name is Vira. I want to ask to you is, how does the corporate wakaf scam work in Malaysia, and why it is not already in Indonesia? You get my question?
That means how is working in Malaysia?
Yes.
And why they don't have this kind of cooperation with Indonesia? Is it? This is the question, is it?
Yes.
Okay, that means in Malaysia they have the Awqaf in Malaysia regulated by two bodies. They have the law, what we call it federal law, and we have state law. Some Awqaf, they are managed by state law, because the one who serve above Malaysia, we have 13 states. That means these states, that means every state, they have their own Majlis Agama Islam. Okay, that means all law governing Waqf in the states they are the under state. If we are talking about under state, we are talking about under Majlis Agama Islam, for example, Selangor, Jais, Majlis Agama Kelantan, Majlis Agama Terengganu, it depends. And they are related to the Sultan of the state. They have regulations in states, and they have federal regulations. Okay, because Awqaf need regulations, need to be regulated. Okay, in both cases, they have this. They don't have any clash between state and federals. What is state is state. What is federal is federal. The situation in Indonesia is quite different. You don't have this kind of what you call it, kind of management. I think you have last time I crossed one. You have one company, is good one. If I'm not mistaken, is with me here. I will check. We have one models of Indonesian models is good model. I think if I'm not mistaken, where is it? Where is it? Pictures. Okay. Last time, okay. No, this is not Indonesian. Okay. I say Indonesia got one good model. Even I say in our models, Indonesia is sharing some models with other countries. For example, when I talk about the public Waqf share models, okay, we got these 5 countries, the same models used in Indonesia, used in Malaysia, used in UK, United Kingdom, used in Sudan, and used in Kuwait. These 5 countries, they are using same models. But regulations, it differ from country to country. That means is not. That means regulation, they are not same. In some, if they are same, okay. This is a model of Indonesia. Okay. The model Waqf mutual fund models. This Indonesian models. Okay. We have Waqf investors, we have Patasa Capital Asset Managements. This Patasa Capital Asset Managements invest the capital in the portfolio of low risk financial investment earnings, 70%, 30%, mutual funds, Waqf funds, and dumped charity projects. This, I think, this is the dumped Duafa Batasa Sharia Mutual Fund. This was established in Indonesia in 2004. This kind, okay, maybe you can get this, is kind of Waqf based on musharaka, musharaka. I say in general, that means we have different countries, we have different rules which govern Awqaf. Some models can be played in different countries. Some models, they are limited to one country to another one. For that, maybe sometimes some models they can be shared, Malaysia, Indonesia, and other countries. Some models, they are limited to the law of the countries, because every country, they have their own law, and the people, they need to follow them. I think I answer your question. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, Vira.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, any other question? I think there is a question from Uminita in the chat box, Doctor.
Yes.
Zakat or wakaf? I think it's wakaf. No,
I
think about zakat.
We are not talking about zakat. Zakat, another institutions. Okay. We are talking about waqaf. Waqaf, because zakat is another issue. Okay.
Yeah.
In some countries, they put this in management. That means the Department of Zakat and Waqf, they are working together. But waqaf still waqaf, zakat still zakat.
Yeah.
Okay. Gone, khalas. If you give your zakat, you get.
Okay. I think she asked about the role of Waqf for the economic development, I think.
Okay. The role of Waqf in economic development. I say, okay, my background in economics, I can say, no, my background in economics, I can say, that's mean the main challenge is in project is financing. If you got financement, that means automatically you can go with any project in any countries. The lack of financing, this is the main challenge for that many projects. People who they want to make project all the time, they are going to look for people who can finance these projects. We have this Awqaf. Awqaf is free tools of financing. That means you can use Awqaf to finance different projects, even mega projects. For example, if you move Awqaf to Sukuk, to bonds, Sukuk, if you move Awqaf Sukuk Intifa, because some Waqf they use this tariqat or this method of Sukuk Intifa. If you use it as Sukuk, that means you can finance even the mega projects. If you don't have, okay, what you need for example for development, what you need? Okay, more projects, development projects. That means more your economy going. That means easily for development, to develop your economics. That means it's about projects. If a lot of projects, that means you are going to develop your countries. This project need finance. So we have one tool to finance this project. That means it's already, we don't have problem of money, because many peoples, many countries, okay, they have this problem of lack of money from where I am going to finance my project. Awqaf already settled these things for us. Okay, sure. That's mean if we are talking about projects, we are talking about business planning, and we are talking about all these things, it must be done properly. But one thing you are sure about it, that's mean you don't have lack of money. With Waqf, you don't have lack of money. How to invest? This is your problem. You are good investors or you are bad investors. It depends on the person who is going to invest. But the money plays the main role in investments. And investments play main role in development. We cannot talk about development without investments. And we cannot talk about investments without money. And money is coming from Awqaf. It's simple like this.
Okay. Okay, it's clear. Umi Nita.
Ya Pak, makasih.
Okay. For the next question coming from Afini Faidah. Bagaimana hukum jika wakaf yang telah diberikan diminta kembali oleh ahli waris? How if the
I put it in, I divided types of waqf.
Yeah.
Three, in my slides. Waqf dirri. Waqf dirri, this is family waqf. That's mean from the grandfather until the grandson. Okay, that's mean if they can manage it, if they can keep it, it will still. No one, that's mean this is one type of the three types of waqf. We call it waqfun in Arabic. We call it waqfun dirri or family waqf. It can be. For example, let's say one grandfather, okay, make one lands to be cultivated, and that's mean when they harvest these lands, they give to needy people. From the grandfather, they keep it. Okay, they need sometimes to make some changes about agriculture, how to plant, how to harvest, and so on. This is okay, automatically you are going to follow what is happening in the world. But you keep it in the same. That's mean can. This is kind of type of waqf family. In Arabic, we call it waqfun darri. That means dhurriyatun ba'duha min ba'd. That's mean from grandfather until the grandson. This is the question, is it?
Okay. Begitu maksudnya Mbak Vini? Mbak Vini? Mana Vini? I think how if for example oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay. If there is a family give have a walk for a mosque, for masjid, but or a land for waqaf, and then they withdraw the land and sell the land. How it is permissible or not?
No, only is permissible only for the person, the first one. That's me. Let's say Mr. Ahmed. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, he's the one who did waqf. Only him. He can withdraw.
Oh.
That means the grandson and so they don't have this authority to do it. But
Okay.
if the person al-waqif underwear, al-waqif, if underwear, he's the one who wants to change his mind, he can change his mind. But if they're his children, no, they don't have this right.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, clear. I think it's clear. Okay. Next question from Ayuwinda. Saya melihat peran dari wakaf sama layaknya peran filantropi lainnya seperti zakat. Namun dalam zakat ada asnaf, ada the recipient has been set by the Quran. How about the waqf? Is the recipient is also set by the Sharia?
No, the recipient, they are set by the underwords, al-waqif. He's the one who is going to decide who's going to benefit from this.
Okay.
For example, if he say, this my waqaf is for student, the one who is going to benefit from this is student, no more than students, because he limit. Okay, we have some opinions, some scholars, they are make it more than this, they are targeting maqsad. But in general, if the one on the words he say this work is for this purpose and for this person, we need to follow what he say.
Okay.
It's not like it's not like zakat, because zakat we have asnaf.
Okay. It's clear ya, Ayuwinda. Selanjutnya it is come from Elok Regita. How about the potential and the challenges of work management in Malaysia in contemporary era?
As I say, Malaysia, as other countries, we have a lot of problems regarding waqf. And the most, I say the most and most important challenge is about people to, that means when they made their work, in the end they feel their work gone. Because people who believe in work, or they have this kind of understanding of work, automatically they are going to be sure that their money, their lands, their properties, they still keep it after they pass away. Because this is, I say, this is kind of investment, but it's not only in this life, it's after this life. In Malaysia, like other countries, for different reasons, we got a lot of decline in waqf. Sometimes is about what we call it mismanagement. Sometimes we don't, they neglect the purpose or the philosophy of waqf itself. And sometimes we have what your friends already say, that's mean this kind of people who they are playing with what we call it sentiment of people regarding this kind of beneficiary work, and they are using it to make their own agendas in different way. Malaysia is like other countries. In general, I say, in the last decade, we have this kind of decline in Awqaf. That means it's not exactly only in Malaysia, in other countries. And this is due to the sometimes socio-economic problems, sometimes is about mismanagement, and sometimes is about what we call it, some people who they are involved in Awqaf, they are not the right people. Even though we have a lot of good examples of Awqaf in the world, likely in, I say, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Dubai, in different countries, they have this good Awqaf. This is in general, that's mean in details, that means it must be one study about lack of how Awqaf declined in this, or in Malaysia or in other countries. But usually the reason is about all these three factors. It's only about these three factors. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay. How about in Algeria, doctor?
Regarding the Algeria, I give you one information. Algeria, Algeria was colonized by France, is it?
Yes.
Algeria was colonized by France. Before this, Algeria, it was under autonomy or Ottomania, Al-Khilafah al-Ottomaniya. They say empire, but I'm not calling it empire. Algeria, they are not calling it empire, they are called Khilafah Ottomaniya. This is in our school syllabus. We don't call it empire, I like others calling it. Because we were friendly, or that it was this kind of things. Algeria was colonized by France. When France in 1830 colonized Algeria, 90% of Algerian lands was Awqaf. 90% of Algerian lands was Awqaf. When France left or pushed out from Algeria in 1962, no one, because French, when colonized Algeria, this Awqaf, it became their own properties.
Oh.
For that, That means the issue of Awqaf in Algeria, even in the law perspective, is good. We have good law in Algeria to deal with Awqaf. But you know, if people that try to trace their Awqaf, grandfather Awqaf, that means 90% that will be conflict in the society. Because maybe your grandfather lands now is belong to another one, and another one is belong to another one, and so on. This is big. For that now, regulation is simple like that. We have this still around 10%. Algeria opt for the new Awqaf. That means, okay, if we go back, that means we are going to creating conflict in the society. Okay, let's move forward. That means to create a new Awqaf. This is how to deal with the situation in Algeria. Algeria was most country affected by colonization, especially in the part of Awqaf. And if you raise again this issue in society, that means it will be, you know, a kind of conflict in the society regarding especially the lands. For that, they move forward. Okay, look to the futures. That's mean, okay, what happened, it's happened. I try to look for the new Awqaf, to make a new Awqaf. This is situation in general in Algeria.
Okay, colonized by French. Okay, yes, Algeria. If we hear about Algeria, I also remember Zinedine Zidane. Okay. Okay.
We have 4 million Algerians. We have 4 million Algerians in France.
Oh.
Zinedine Zidane himself is the 3rd generation. That means in part of demographic parts, that means Algerian, they are deciding in France. For that, you say big names in football in different kinds, original, they are Algerians.
Yeah.
Okay, you are young, you like football, that means you know Benzema, Nasri, Mahrez, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Mahrez is Algerian.
Yes. Mahrez, yeah, Manchester City. Okay, pecinta bola ada pasti tahu. Okay, we are going for the next question. Come from Abdul Aziz. Bagaimana cara mengatasi masalah dalam pengawalan wakaf yang ada di Indonesia?
Okay, I say, you know, if we are talking about the old waqaf, you know, is not simple issue. You need to deal with it carefully. Maybe people's, okay, that's mean, okay, I feel that my grandfather got waqaf one land and the government take this land from us. Okay, in every country, they have their own rules. It can be settled, any problems can be settled through judiciary, through the system judiciary, through the justice. But the issue in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Algeria, whatever, they still have many issues about waqf. And there's still a lot of people complaining about their own waqf. Okay, the most important that we have rules. These rules regulate the waqf. If they have the rules, special rules for waqf, this is one already is one big step. Because in some countries they don't have these regulations. They deal with waqf like others. And as you know, waqf from Islamic perspective is not waqf endowment from Western perspective. It's not the same. You cannot deal with waqf institution as you are dealing with corporation companies. They are not safe because Waqf is based in Sharia law. That means the Sharia law is the one who is going to govern the Waqf. Is not civic law. Okay, in some countries they make this kind of mixed laws for Waqf and for endowment, but it's not all the time is state. We need to distinguish between these two things. Because, for example, I say, by definitions, that means you cannot use the Waqf only in the purpose, the one on the words in the beginning specified it. You cannot go out of what he said or she said. You cannot go out from it. That means you need to follow. This is important things. If you look from in Western, for example, in conventional and so on, they don't, okay, we have the money, we have this endowment, we can use it because we are the managers and we feel this is beneficial, okay, we are going to use it. This is not the philosophy of Waqf. It's not up to you as manager. Okay. You as manager, you are trusted, wali, nadir, wali or nadir. In Arabic, we use these two words. We use wali and we use nadir. You are nadir Waqf. You don't have the right to decide on it. You are only to manage it, no more than that. This is the idea. If we look in, for example, in conventional law, okay, they don't care about it because you are the manager. You can decide on it. Like in management, that means the manager, he can decide, he can do step, feel is necessary to get the profits. You can see the difference between these two perspectives. That's mean from Islamic perspective, from conventional perspective.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And the next question from Irham, Muhammad Irham. Yang teman-teman yang saya ketahui, land cannot be sold. But if, for example, there is a field of land that Waqf land and then sold for the investment intention, for the investment purpose, is it permissible or not? The land, Waqf land, sold, is sold and then used for investment purpose. Is it permissible?
Okay, it cannot be sold only in case of istibdal. We call it istibdal, exchange. For example, some lands, let's say this land is in volcano area. Okay, previously it was okay. Now, from volcano area, that's mean we have a lot of danger there. Okay, it can be exchanged, but the land itself without any problem, any challenging, and you sold it to get the money to make investment is not permissible, because the idea of the Waqf is hold, retain. You keep it, save. Fuqaha talk about istibdal only in the case of the land or property. For example, property got, for example, is landscape. We have one building, building Waqf building, okay? And this all geology, they say this area is for landscape. That means you cannot, it's not safe to stay here. Okay, in this case, we can استبدال. But we cannot, that means without any reason, that means we sold it and take money and make investment.
Oke. Bisa hanya pada kasus-kasus tertentu. Dan selebihnya semestinya tidak bisa dijual, apalagi untuk investasi walaupun untuk tanah itu sendiri. Itu ya. For next question, how is to increase the Waqf fund from the Muslims? How to enhance the number of Waqf fund? And how for its development in the future.
Defaults is not only about Awqaf, it's not about Sukuk.
Okay.
We have a lot of, you can see the background in the beginning, it was in this seminars I participated 2 weeks ago. About it was my topic, it was about defaults. Okay, default in Sukuk, because many people they are talking Sukuk.
Yeah, Sukuk.
No one is discussing the default of Sukuk. It's not okay. They don't have a big impact in capital market, but still one challenging things. Same defaults for Sukuk, same default for Awqaf. Some default for Awqaf. It's same. What is happening to Sukuk, it happened to Awqaf. Now, how to solve, or how to, in the risk management, how to protect our Awqaf from this default, or how to protect our Sukuk from this default? It depends on kind of management used in this Awqaf. For example, if we look to people who they are in charge, for example, if we look to the government, because in many countries, the one who they are in charge, the one who manage the Awqaf, they are government, what do you call it, civil servants, government employees. And we can see usually when we are dealing with the government employees, they don't care a lot. It's not like private. For that, the private sector usually did better than the public sectors in general. It's like this. Because people who they are in the public, or they belong to governments, they don't care a lot about many issues. From this kind of don't care, they bring the default for this kind of Awqaf. This is one very important thing, especially Awqaf, who they are under government. For that, the most, my point of view, that's mean is most to make kind of mixed Awqaf. Okay, Awqaf under government and private Awqaf. Because usually private, they are all the time targeting the profits. If they are targeting the profits, that means automatically they are going to study risk management carefully about the project. Before investing, before put the money of Awqaf in any investments, they are going to make, for example, survey to see if this investment is profitable or not. Also, it's not about only survey, also they are going to hire professionals to do this work. For that, in kind of management, and as you know, that many people, they are not professional. Many people who they are dealing with Waqf, they are not professionals. For that, many times, because you know, don't forget that Waqf is Dulu previously. It was from Sheikh, Imam, and so on. Now, they are not related to management. Nowadays, no, you need someone who is related to managements to manage our Awqaf. It's not like the previous time. That's mean because people trust you. That's mean you are the one who manage the Awqaf. Some criteria they make it like someone he apply for any post. That's mean he need to be strict criteria, especially for wali, the one who is going to manage Awqaf. Because from this lack of criteria, weakness in accepting governments, employees, and so on, from all this, okay, we can make Waqf defaults. We need good managers with high competency, that's mean with high, that's mean delivering. This kind of people, they are interested in Waqf. Okay, we need some time to brand our Waqf because many people, especially non-Muslims, they look to the Waqf like they are looking in conventional framework. We need to brand our Waqf, and that will motivate students to be professional in managing Waqf managing. This is very important things. With good managers, Waqf who understand the philosophy of Waqf, that means inshallah will never go. It will never happen default or big defaults of Awqaf. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. There is question: Is it possible if Waqf funds used for capital of a social enterprise?
For use for what?
Use for capital of a social enterprise.
Yes, it can be used. It can be used. That's under some conditions. That's mean, okay, if mawquf alayh, that's mean the one who is going to beneficiary of Waqf. If the one who is beneficiary of the Waqf and the onwards, the Waqif, they are okay, both agree to go through this way, it's okay.
Right.
No problem.
Uh,
I say even, yeah, I say that's mean we can make scholarship from Waqf, we can make for good, for maintenance, for services, from whatever. But it must be regulated with underwords and beneficiaries. That's mean this both parties, they must agree about it. The first one is al-waqif, underwords. The second one is beneficiary.
Beneficiary. Oke. Oke, ini jadi kata kunci yang teman-teman bisa buat modal untuk usaha. Yang next question, how if the Waqf land if there is a disaster and they make the Waqf land damage or Waqf property damage, is it possible to reuse it? Or how to solve this problem if there is a disaster, big disaster, and damage the Waqf property?
I already talked about the topic is istibdal, exchange.
Okay.
That means it can be exchanged.
It can, okay, it can be okay. And the next question is, how about the utilization of financial technology for our?
Okay, I talk about, for example, I give you one model of mobile Waqf. I give you one example of mobile Waqf. This is kind of modern Waqf. It's not, the tools, the models, is not the problem in the models. Because the models, if they are permissible or if they are agree, the Sharia law agree about these models, is not the problem in the models. These models, they can contribute to the work or not. That's mean if we look to this kind, for example, okay, which models is forward in this country, which is number one, which is number two, which is number three. It depends on models itself. okay, we can develop new models for Waqf, no problem. Because this is all models, what is kind of tools to be used, no more than that. If these tools are permissible, it's okay, can be used with technology, without technology, it can be used, no problems. If from Sharia perspective are acceptable, that means we can use it. It's no problem. And models, I say, any models can be developed. That means you can say, in the beginning of Zaman al-Nabi, Zaman al-Sahaba, it was the way we call it, the simple models of Waqf, very easy. And now we are talking about that's mean CCD, the Waqf. That's mean is kind of new models of Waqf. People, we are talking about chair at University Waqf. Previously, no one talked about chairs at universities. If we talk about okay, even when we look to this is Azhar, Zaytuna, Qayrawan, and so on. These all universities at that time, they were based on Waqf. But no one at that time think about to make chair for lecturers Waqf. But now, many universities, even University Islam, okay, UIA, okay, University Islam Malaysia, okay, International Malaysia, UIAM, okay. Okay, UIA, University Islam Antarabangsa, Malaysia.
UM.
They have chairs for lecturers based on Waqf financing. Different universities, they are using it. Okay, they provide funds or for lectures, special lecture for 1 year, for example. You give lectures, you have chair in this university to give it, and they are financing this. I say model is not problem. You can get a lot of models.
Okay.
No problem.
I think it's interesting. Yeah, Waqf for the beneficiary is lectures, right?
Yes. No, the beneficiary. No, the beneficiary is students.
Oh, students.
The outcome to who? To students.
Okay. That's right.
Kind of management. That means the lectures. He give lectures. Okay, he get money to give lectures. Is it?
Yes.
That means who is benefits from this chair? Students.
Okay.
This is not happening at the University Islam Pakistan. This is in respectable university, Harvard's and Stanford's, and they have this kind of work.
Okay.
They put it. This is for professors and so on. One who can give what we call it quality contributions.
Okay. Quality contributions. Okay. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Next one is from I collect from the Google Classroom, but okay. The next question is it permissible and possible if the productive Waqf is used for addressing government debt? Is it permissible?
What?
Is it possible if the Waqf fund used for addressing the government debt?
This is not Waqf. This is, I say, irsad. You remember in the beginning, I say in Arabic we use 3 words. We use Waqf, we use habs, we use irsad. I said it in the beginning. I said many people, they think irsad is a kind of Waqf. Irsad is not Waqf. It's the authority of government to use. But this is not considered as Waqf. It happened zaman Umar bin Khattab, Ardu Khaybar. It happened, but this is kind of authority to be used. But it's not used. Okay, many people, they confuse, they call it Waqf, but it's not Waqf. This is it's called Rust.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not waqf. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Next one. I think it is the last one, I think. Okay. How to manage the waqf waqf institution to work effectively to manage the waqf.
Managing work is like managing any companies. How to manage companies, how to manage schools, how to manage universities is kind of all what we got corporate governance. That means it must be good governance. It's kind of good governance. Okay. It's like to only when in WACF we have another additional things. It must be our management, it must comply with Sharia law. For example, that's mean in managing WACF, it must be with accordance with Sharia law. That means we cannot do, for example, let's say, we cannot manage, for example, let's say, school. We cannot manage schools, and at the same time, when we are managing schools, waqf, the one who make waqf, make for the good educations, made to promote good values. And you make one schools, you give the money to one schools who give bad values, for example. I give example. It cannot be this way. That means all, because it's good deeds, it must be compliant with Sharia law or Sharia value. That's all. For example, I don't know, many Awqafs that are, for example, cheating people sometimes. That means even about small amounts. If we talk about mobile waqf sometimes, okay, this is 0.05 cents. That's mean okay, cancel it, no problem, and so on. It's not permissible. It's not permissible. It's not about small or big amount. It's not permissible. By Islamic law, it's not permissible. It's not permissible. It's not your right. It's not your right. If you are not the trustee, you are not the trustee. You cannot make yourself wali and you are not wali. If you are wali, you are trustee, but you are not good manager, okay, you need to let your post to others who they are. And so on. This is management. I think work of management, it must be like others company. If we have companies, especially all the time I'm talking about private companies, okay, they are targeting good managers. Why? Because good managers, that's mean a lot or high profit. Lack of bad managers, lack of experience and so on, automatically the result is no profit, is a weak results. Wallah.
Oke, thank you dokter. Teman-teman, silakan on cam dulu. Ada yang mau ditanyakan lagi satu? Sudah cukup? Kita on cam dulu, kita foto bersama setelah ini. Oke, Dr. Toufiq, I think it's the end of our session today. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thanks a lot for your session today. We hope that you may be a guest lecturer again for our next occasion, inshallah. And we have a specific topic in Waqf and other subject, I think, in Islamic public finance. There is materials about Waqf management also. But it is available on next semester. Okay, no problem, Doctor. Thank you once again. Dan teman-teman terima kasih atas partisipasinya pada kesempatan hari ini. Insya Allah sangat bermanfaat materi dari beliau. Pada intinya nanti teman-teman bisa memanfaatkan wakaf ini sebagai salah satu model untuk pembiayaan dalam social enterprise teman-teman ya. Jadi dokter, this one of the assessment for this subject is propose Islamic social enterprise model, okay, business model. So wakaf could be one of the resource for the capital or for the partner and many kinds of the function of wakaf. And so it is very meaningful and useful for us for develop the students' idea to arrange to design a business model of an Islamic social enterprise. Thank you, Doctor. And we are going for the photo session now.
Okay.
Oke, teman-teman silakan on cam semuanya. Teman-teman. Oke. Mas Wigi, siap Mas Wigi?
Iya, Mas.
Oke, 1, 1, 2, 3. Oke, just hold on. 1, 2, 3. Sudah Mas Wigi?
Sudah.
Oke, terima kasih. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Okay, let's end this session by reciting Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Or is there any closing statement from Doctor?
No, okay, thanks a lot. It was my pleasure to be with you in this session, and good luck for the future, inshallah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Terima kasih teman-teman semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Islam Indonesia, padamu kami berjanji, majukan studi, giatkan bakti untuk pembangunan pertiwi, syariat Islam amalan kita.